Words can weave a tapestry of profound connection or tear it apart thread by thread. The choice often lies in the hands of those wielding them. This book is not just another communication guide. It serves as a powerful tool for recognizing the hidden patterns of verbal abuse and understanding how mental health can manifest as a means of control. As you turn these pages, prepare to uncover the shadows that linger in everyday exchanges, revealing how words can both nurture and destroy. Delve into the intricate dance of human interaction and arm yourself with knowledge that empowers you to navigate these treacherous waters. In a world where silence can be deadly, let your voice be heard and valued. Words That Harm: Recognizing the Patterns of Verbal Abuse, written and published by Tangled Minds. Chapter 1. The Cycle of Hurt. Why It Happens. Imagine a seemingly ordinary family dinner. Laughter fills the air, plates clinking as the warmth of togetherness envelops the room. Yet, beneath this facade, a subtle storm brews. One family member, perhaps the eldest son, is racked with anxiety, feeling the weight of unmet expectations and the pressure to succeed. As the evening progresses, the mood shifts. A passing comment from a sibling, unintended yet sharp, ignites the son's buried frustrations. In a moment that transcends mere words, he lashes out, his voice slicing through the laughter, leaving a wound far deeper than anyone realizes. This cycle of hurt, triggered by the unaddressed mental health struggles, is not isolated. It occurs in countless settings, often unnoticed and unacknowledged. At the heart of these dynamics lies a painful truth. Mental health issues can distort perceptions and reactions, creating an environment ripe for misunderstanding and emotional harm. Individuals, grappling with their own silent battles, may inadvertently take out their frustrations on those around them. The son's outburst was not merely an expression of anger. It was a manifestation of pent-up pain, insecurities, and an inability to communicate vulnerability. Such moments exemplify the complexity of human interactions, where underlying mental health issues intertwine with everyday experiences, often leading to verbal aggression. This chapter seeks to unravel this cycle of hurt, revealing why it persists and how it affects our most intimate relationships. Many individuals find themselves entrapped in cycles where their mental struggles lead them to lash out at others, perpetuating a cycle of emotional trauma. It can stem from various sources: a history of unresolved conflicts, societal pressures, or even inadequately addressed mental health conditions like depression or anxiety. These feelings can fester, leading to distortions in judgment and empathy. When someone battles the demons of their mind, it's often challenging to see the emotional toll their words may take on another. This disconnection fuels the vicious cycle. Pain begets pain, and without acknowledgement, it continues unbroken. Understanding why some people resort to verbal aggression when faced with their mental health struggles can illuminate the path toward healing. Many individuals, incapable of expressing their own vulnerabilities, deflect their struggles as a means of defending their fragile psyche. They may be unaware that their reactions stem from unresolved issues, instead viewing their outbursts as a means of control. This reflection is imperative because awareness is the first step toward breaking free from the cycle. Recognizing that the verbal wounds inflicted on others often sprout from their own suffering encourages not only empathy, but also a profound sense of responsibility. In navigating these complexities, we must also confront the societal misconceptions surrounding mental health. Conversations about mental well-being can often be clouded by stigma and ignorance, which further isolates individuals in their pain. When people fail to understand their emotions, they may resort to hurtful language that inflicts damage invisible to the naked eye. The cycle thus continues, unchecked and unnoticed, as the victims of verbal harm may internalize the negativity, further perpetuating their own mental health struggles. This cycle is insidious. Breaking it requires courage, open dialogue, and a willingness to confront discomfort. By grasping the nuances of how mental health issues manifest in our interactions, we can begin to dismantle the walls that separate us from our own healing. Recognizing the cycle of hurt is crucial, enabling individuals to rewrite their narratives, transforming pain into a powerful catalyst for change. Continuing from the exploration of the cycle of hurt, it is vital to delve into how this emotional turbulence affects those caught within its grasp. Individuals who navigate these challenging waters often experience a profound sense of isolation and confusion. Consider the story of Sarah, a bright and ambitious college student who once thrived in her academic environment. However, after falling into a destructive relationship with a partner, grappling with untreated anxiety and depression, Sarah became the target of verbal assaults that eroded her self-worth. Each cutting remark submerged her further into feelings of inadequacy, creating a psychological echo chamber that distorted her perception of reality. With each encounter, Sarah found herself questioning her capabilities, unraveling the confidence she had once cherished. Psychological research supports the notion that verbal abuse can inflict emotional scars as deep as physical wounds. A study published in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence highlighted that victims of verbal aggression often develop symptoms akin to post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, leading to a cascading effect on their mental health. The psychological toll extends beyond immediate distress, manifesting in long-term issues such as anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. The more one internalizes damaging words, the more these experiences become ingrained in their identity, leading to behaviors that reflect this struggle, such as avoidance of social situations or diminished self-esteem. Additionally, think about James, a middle-aged professional whose career faltered under the weight of a boss with poorly managed mental health issues. In a corporate setting rife with poorly articulated frustrations, James found himself often the target of harsh criticisms and dismissive comments. Despite being a diligent and talented employee, the verbal attacks dented his resilience, pushing him into a spiral of self-doubt and burnout. Research illustrates that workplace verbal abuse is linked to decreased job satisfaction, increased anxiety, and even physical health problems, such as cardiovascular issues. The detrimental impacts are compounded when there is a lack of support from colleagues and friends, perpetuating the feeling of being trapped. The urgency of addressing the cycle of hurt is underscored by these real-life narratives. Each instance of verbal aggression not only affects the immediate victim, but also ripples through their relationships, creating an amplified environment of mistrust and fear. Victims may feel the impulse to place-hate their aggressors, sacrificing their own needs and principles, which ultimately prevents them from seeking help or removing themselves from toxic situations. As the cycle continues, those affected may find themselves engaging in self-destructive behaviors, perpetuating their pain rather than finding pathways toward healing. Understanding the psychological ramifications of this cycle empowers individuals to recognize that they are not alone in their experiences. It is imperative for both victims and perpetrators to gain insights into these dynamics to facilitate compassion and healing. As we peel back the layers of this emotional complexity, the urgency for awareness becomes evident. The next chapter will draw attention to the often overlooked warning signs that accompany verbal abuse, equipping readers with the tools necessary to identify and confront these insidious behaviors before they escalate. Knowledge is not just power, it is a lifeline that can guide individuals back toward the light amid the darkness. As we navigate the implications of the cycle of hurt, it is crucial to recognize how the impact extends beyond the individual suffering from verbal aggression to encompass the broader circle of caregivers, friends, and colleagues. The invisible wounds inflicted by emotionally charged words create a ripple effect that can affect those around the perpetrator, often leading to confusion, resentment, and a heightened sense of emotional strain. Consider the scenario of Mark, a compassionate caregiver for his younger brother who struggles with mental health issues. Every evening, as they navigate the complexities of daily life, Mark finds himself on the receiving end of his brother's unfiltered verbal assaults, stemming from deep-seated frustration and fear. Initially, Mark approached these interactions with empathy, hoping to create a supportive environment. However, over time, the relentless nature of the verbal abuse began to chip away at his emotional resilience, leaving him feeling exhausted and anxious. Caregivers, in particular, often bear the brunt of verbal aggression, as they may feel obligated to support loved ones while simultaneously grappling with their emotional toll. Research shows that caregivers frequently experience increased levels of stress, anxiety, and even feelings of guilt due to their inability to alleviate the suffering of those they care for. This dynamic can create a vicious cycle. The caregiver feels worn down and anxious, which may lead to their own mental health struggles, while the abuser struggles to regulate their emotions, further perpetuating the cycle of aggression. In Mark's case, the burden of carrying his brother's pain without adequate emotional support led him to isolate himself from friends, causing additional strain on relationships that were once fulfilling. At work, the effects of verbal abuse can manifest in hypervigilant and defensive behaviors among colleagues. Picture Linda, an intelligent and committed member of a team where her supervisor consistently unleashes verbal tirades, often belittling employees in front of one another. While Linda remains dedicated to her tasks, the toxic work environment takes a toll on her interactions with colleagues. Tension fills the air, colleagues hesitate to share ideas, and fear shapes conversations. Linda becomes increasingly aware of subtle shifts in behavior. Colleagues avoid eye contact, and conversation becomes stilted. The emotional environment is punctured by the pervasive sense of dread, a direct consequence of the supervisor's unchecked aggression. Psychological research has shown that such environments foster anxiety and impede productivity, leading to higher turnover rates and lower morale throughout the organization. Understanding how these dynamics unfold is critical for self-defense against verbal abuse. Recognizing the patterns of hurt that emerge in relationships, whether familial, platonic, or professional, enables individuals to confront these behaviors more effectively and advocate for their emotional well-being. The invisible burden carried by those impacted by verbal aggression often manifests as self-doubt, anxiety, and emotional distress, suggesting a need for greater awareness and vigilance. As we consider these intricate dynamics, it becomes clear that the knowledge of how verbal abuse affects not just the individual, but also their surrounding relationships, serves as a powerful tool for resistance. Identifying the signs in our interactions with caregivers, friends, and colleagues prepares us to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. The path toward understanding these tactics is the first step to reclaiming autonomy and emotional safety. In the next section, we will explore how the escalation of control can trap victims in these cycles, highlighting the necessity of awareness for those ensnared in the grips of verbal abuse. Chapter 2. Recognizing the hidden signs of verbal abuse. Understanding the subtle yet pervasive signs of verbal abuse is vital for empowerment and healing. These signs often cloak themselves in everyday interactions, making it difficult to discern the harmful patterns at play. Many individuals find themselves bewildered, questioning whether their experiences are valid or merely a figment of their imagination. However, by honing in on these hidden signs, individuals can reclaim their power and reshape their emotional landscape. Research indicates that verbal abuse is alarmingly common. Studies suggest that approximately 1 in 3 individuals will encounter some form of verbal aggression in their personal or professional lives. This statistic underscores the urgency of recognizing these signs and taking proactive steps to protect oneself. Origins of verbal abuse can be rooted in a variety of factors, including individual histories, societal influences, and mental health challenges. When examining everyday scenarios, consider the relationship between 2 close friends, Sophia and Emma. Initially, their friendship flourished, characterized by supportive conversations and shared laughter. Yet, as time went on, Sophia began to notice that Emma frequently made dismissive remarks about her achievements, subtly undermining her accomplishments. At first, Sophia chalked it up to Emma's own insecurities, assuming they stemmed from a challenging time in her life. However, with each interaction, the hurtful comments began to accumulate, planting seeds of self-doubt in Sophia's mind. Such subtle behaviors often emerge as control tactics, and expert insights reveal that victims of verbal abuse may not even recognize the impact until they experience emotional erosion over time. Dr. Judith Lewis Herman, a pioneer in trauma studies, emphasizes that emotional abuse operates within a cycle of domination and subjugation, often manifesting as belittling language or gaslighting. These tactics can lead victims to doubt their perceptions, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and encouraging them to remain within a damaging dynamic. Awareness is key. By understanding these tactics, individuals can shift the narrative from victimization to empowerment. Statistics further illuminate the prevalence of this issue, highlighting that victims may remain unaware of their situation. A survey conducted by the National Domestic Violence Hotline reveals that nearly 70% of respondents identified experiencing emotional abuse alongside physical violence, indicating how frequently verbal abuse intertwines with other forms of control. The insidious nature of these hidden signs reinforces the importance of vigilance in interpersonal relationships for protecting one's emotional well-being. Moreover, recognizing these signs not only aids individuals but facilitates healthier communication dynamics. By observing patterns in their relationships, individuals can identify when they are subjected to detrimental remarks or subtly undermining language. This newfound awareness is a source of strength, empowering individuals to decouple their self-worth from the judgments of others. They can begin to articulate their boundaries and challenge those who cross them, cultivating a deeper sense of self-respect and liberation. Feeling in control of one's progress is essential for transformation. As you reflect on your experiences, consider the language used in your relationships and how it affects your emotional landscape. You possess the power to shift the narrative of your life, reclaiming agency over your emotions and thoughts. Vulnerability can emerge as your greatest strength, guiding you toward healthier relationships, grounded in respect and understanding. By the end of this chapter, you will possess invaluable tools for recognizing the hidden signs of verbal abuse, arming yourself with the knowledge needed to foster healthier interactions. This journey begins with awareness, bringing clarity to your experiences, laying the foundation for stronger emotional resilience in the face of adversity. Continuing from our exploration of recognizing the hidden signs of verbal abuse, it is important to delve into why this strategy of awareness is effective, not just for the individual, but also for those struggling with mental health challenges. The ability to identify subtle insults, dismissive comments, or manipulative behaviors serves as a foundational tool for transformation. By acknowledging these harmful patterns, individuals can begin to draw necessary boundaries that promote healthier interactions, ultimately fostering an atmosphere of understanding and respect. When individuals learn to recognize the signs of verbal abuse, they can respond proactively rather than reactively. This self-awareness creates a powerful shift in dynamics that benefits both parties involved. For example, consider the case of David, a compassionate spouse whose partner battles depression. Initially, David would often internalize his partner's harsh words, believing they stemmed from a place of love, but were instead reflective of his partner's struggles with self-esteem. As David began to gain awareness of these harmful patterns, he learned not to take the words personally, recognizing that they were a manifestation of his partner's internal battles, rather than a direct reflection of his worth. By calmly addressing the harmful remarks and expressing how they impacted him, David facilitated open dialogue that allowed his partner to confront her own behavior. This mutual understanding ultimately supported his partner in seeking therapy for her mental health issues, creating a safe space for growth and healing. This approach underscores how recognition can catalyze positive change. It empowers individuals to articulate their emotions and needs, leading to better communication. Psychological experts highlight that clear communication can aid those with mental health challenges in articulating their feelings, helping them recognize their triggers and the unintended consequences of their words. It not only galvanizes personal growth, but also promotes an environment where both individuals feel heard and validated. Consider another example involving a group of coworkers experiencing consistent verbal disruptions from a manager, overwhelmed by workplace stress. Initially, the team remained silent, interpreting the manager's harsh feedback as necessary criticism. However, as individuals began to recognize the damaging frequency of these interactions, they collectively decided to address the issue in a team meeting. By presenting their concerns constructively, they illuminated not just the adverse impact of verbal aggression, but also the underlying pressure the manager experienced due to workload. Surprisingly, the manager was receptive, providing insight into her own struggles and vowing to adjust her communication style. This pivotal conversation not only fostered a healthier relationship among the team, but also equipped the manager with awareness of her influence on team morale. The urgency of cultivating this awareness cannot be overstated. Individuals equipped with the capacity to recognize the signs of verbal abuse become instrumental in transforming not only their circumstances, but also the environments they inhabit. By voicing concerns, they disrupt cycles of negativity, breaking the chains of misunderstanding that often accompany mental health struggles. In recognizing these signs, we open the door to deeper compassion and understanding. Encouraging open discussions can soften the emotional landscapes for those grappling with their internal battles, making way for nurturing dialogue rather than confrontation. As individuals embrace this strategy, they find that their experiences are validated, leading to greater emotional intelligence both within themselves and the relationships they cherish. The path toward healing begins with open eyes and willing hearts, allowing those affected to forge connections built on empathy and resilience. The next part of this chapter will focus on identifying specific verbal abuse tactics, helping to equip you further in your journey toward emotional liberation. As we shift into action mode, it's time to implement the strategy of recognizing the hidden signs of verbal abuse in practical, achievable ways. Start by establishing a self-awareness routine that focuses on your daily interactions. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on conversations you've had, particularly those that left you feeling unsettled or confused. Ask yourself questions like, did I notice any dismissive language or condescending remarks? And, how did the other person's words affect my emotions? Journaling these reflections can help you identify patterns in communication over time. Next, practice active listening. When engaging with others, pay attention not just to their words, but to their tone and body language. This will help you discern whether their intentions align with their statements. If you identify unclear communication or feel that a conversation has taken a negative turn, pause and give yourself the space to process your thoughts before responding. This doesn't mean you have to engage in immediate conflict. Instead, it creates an opportunity for you to address concerns later when you're more emotionally equipped. A powerful technique you can incorporate is the "I feel" statement. When addressing any hurtful comments, try framing your feelings in a way that invites dialogue rather than defensiveness. For example, say something like, "I feel hurt when comments like that are made," rather than, "You always make hurtful remarks." This subtle shift can open up communication and transform a potential confrontation into an opportunity for deeper understanding. Celebrate the small wins. Perhaps you're able to identify a hidden sign of verbal abuse in a conversation for the first time. Acknowledge that achievement. Recognizing these signs is a significant step toward empowering yourself and fostering healthier interactions. Establish a victory journal where you can record these moments. Not only will this encourage you to reinforce your progress, but it can also serve as a reminder of how far you've come on this journey. Maintaining a healthy balance between helping mentally challenged individuals while prioritizing your well-being is crucial. It's commendable to support others, but it's essential to protect your emotional state. Set clear boundaries that allow you to offer assistance, yet safeguard your mental health. This might involve saying no to certain engagements, or seeking support from a trusted friend when things become overwhelming. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay to step back to regain your balance. As you incorporate these practices into your daily routine, recognize that change doesn't happen overnight. Much like building muscle, resilience is developed over time with consistent effort. Share your progress with someone close to you. It creates a feedback loop of encouragement and accountability. Each step you take is a victory worth celebrating, no matter how small it may seem. In the next chapter, we will dive deeper into identifying specific verbal abuse tactics, empowering you with the language to confront these issues confidently. Understanding these tactics will arm you with the necessary skills to not only recognize verbal abuse, but also address it with clarity and strength. Before you move forward, remember to engage with our community by subscribing to Mindset Liberation to stay updated on our journey together. Your insights matter, so feel free to share your thoughts and suggestions. Collective wisdom can pave the way for even greater growth in this endeavor. Together, let's continue to cultivate a mindset of liberation and healing as we explore the intricate web of communication and control. Chapter 3. Understanding why words cut deep. The power of words is profound. They can uplift, inspire, and connect, or they can wound deeply, leaving scars that linger long after the conversation has ended. This chapter uncovers the intricate relationship between language and emotion, illustrating why certain phrases resonate painfully and how the echoes of verbal remarks can dominate our inner narratives. By understanding the psychological mechanisms that underlie this phenomenon, you can reclaim your emotional landscape and foster resilience in your interactions. Verbal communication is our primary means of connection and understanding, which is precisely why hurtful words can cause such devastating damage. Research reveals that emotional wounds can be as debilitating as physical ones. According to the National Institutes of Health, individuals subjected to verbal abuse experience alterations in brain chemistry and connections, thus affecting mental resilience and emotional stability. This insight emphasizes how common the experience of being hurt by words truly is, and how vital it is to acknowledge and address this impact. Consider the story of Mia, a talented artist who was constantly critiqued by a mentor who struggled with their own insecurities. Initially, Mia sought out this mentor's guidance, believing their harsh feedback would enhance her skills and artistic expression. However, over time, the critiques became more personal and condescending. Mia soon found herself trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, unable to paint without hearing that inner critic echoing her mentor's disparaging remarks. Despite her immense talent, she began to feel like an imposter, illustrating how powerful words can shape our self-perception and emotional well-being. Understanding why these verbal wounds cut deep often stems from the origins of our self-esteem and sense of belonging. Experts in psychology underline that our formative years play a crucial role in shaping how we internalize criticism or validation. Those who experience consistent negative language in their upbringing may be more sensitive to verbal attack, processing it through a lens of insecurity that has permeated their self-image. The effects can amplify when the source of words comes from someone we respect or trust, as the relationship's perceived power dynamic can create an additional layer of hurt. The statistics surrounding verbal abuse highlight just how prevalent this issue is. A staggering 60% of individuals have reported experiencing verbal abuse at some point in their lives, whether in familial settings, romantic relationships, or workplaces. These numbers underscore the urgent need to understand how words can impact not just the individual receiving them, but the fabric of communities and relationships as well. Each encounter where someone absorbs harmful language perpetuates a cycle of doubt and fear, reinforcing negative thought patterns that can persist for years. Yet it's equally crucial to recognize that transforming your mindset and harnessing the power of language to heal is attainable. By becoming attuned to your reactions and thoughts, you can begin to dismantle the narratives constructed by harmful words. Empowerment emerges when you challenge the statements made against you, gaining clarity and restoring your sense of self. Surround yourself with voices and influences that speak to your worth and values, reinforcing a narrative of positivity and strength. As you continue on this journey of understanding, remember that you possess the ability to reframe your relationship with words. Recognizing their power is the first step toward liberating yourself from their negative hold. By taking control of your emotions and intuitively interpreting the messages you receive, you embark on a path of resilience and renewal. In the next section, we will further explore the specific tactics that contribute to the pain of verbal abuse and how to navigate them effectively, transforming your understanding into actionable strategies for healing. Continuing our exploration of the deep emotional impact of words and the strategies to navigate this landscape, it's vital to discuss how understanding and transforming the language we use can be a game changer for both individuals and those grappling with mental health challenges. This approach not only empowers individuals to reclaim their voices, but also fosters healthier interactions by offering those in distress the compassionate support they need. Through a combination of awareness, reframing, and positive reinforcement, relationships can be rebuilt and nurtured, leading to more resilient, emotional environments. When individuals begin to comprehend the profound effects that words can have, they empower themselves to take control over their reactions and emotional states. For instance, consider the case of Oliver, who struggled with anxiety and often found himself at the receiving end of his friends' well-meaning but occasionally dismissive remarks about his mental health. Instead of internalizing these comments, Oliver took the strategic step of openly communicating his feelings. By expressing how certain words affected him, he invited his friends to join him in a conversation about mental health, creating an environment of understanding rather than judgment. This not only benefited Oliver in managing his anxiety, but also educated his friends on how their words carried weight, encouraging them to be more mindful in their interactions. This strategy proves effective because it establishes a dialogue that demystifies mental health challenges and emphasizes the importance of language in compassionate communication. When both parties engage in conversations that honor feelings and experiences, it creates space for healing. Furthermore, the act of sharing not only uplifts the individual suffering from mental health issues, but also cultivates empathy and a sense of responsibility in their support network. This mutual understanding is crucial. The process fosters relationships built on trust and respect, which are essential for emotional well-being. Another poignant example is that of Clara, a high school teacher whose student, Maria, exhibited signs of disconnection and despair. Clara recognized that Maria often absorbed negative comments from her peers, which led to self-doubt and further withdrawal. Instead of relegating these behaviors to typical teenage angst, Clara approached Maria with compassion, acknowledging the impact that unkind words could have on her emotional state. In fostering an environment where Maria felt safe discussing her feelings, Clara not only validated Maria's experience but also encouraged resilience through positive reinforcement. With continued support, Maria began to articulate her experiences, empowering herself to combat the negative self-talk that had taken root within her. The effectiveness of this strategy is echoed in psychological research that underscores the transformative potential of supportive language. When individuals encounter empathetic communication, their capacity for emotional regulation improves, and they gain the tools to challenge detrimental beliefs about themselves. As they learn to articulate their needs and set boundaries, they cultivate a greater sense of agency over their mental health, leading to a virtuous cycle of healing and empowerment. The urgency of implementing this approach cannot be overstated. By actively engaging in discussions about the ramifications of language, individuals not only redefine their relationships with others, but also reclaim their narratives. As we amplify our understanding of how words affect us, we fortify our resilience against the pitfalls of verbal abuse. In the next part of this chapter, we will delve into concrete techniques for illustrating verbal abuse patterns, empowering you to identify and confront these harmful tactics confidently. This knowledge equips you to restore your peace and fosters healthier communication in your interactions. As we move into the practical application of understanding why words cut deep, it's essential to equip yourself with effective strategies to implement this knowledge into everyday interactions. This is a transformative moment where you can proactively shape your relationships and foster healthier dialogues. Begin by initiating a personal reflection journal. Each day, take a few moments to write about your experiences with language, both the words you received and those you expressed. Note any instances where you felt uplifted or harmed by something said or unsaid. This practice not only fosters awareness but also allows patterns to emerge, giving you valuable insights into your emotional triggers. Next, commit to an exercise called the power of reframing. When you encounter a negative comment or experience the sting of harsh words, pause for a moment and consciously choose to reframe the situation. Ask yourself questions like, what is the intent behind this comment? Or, how can I look at this from a different perspective? For instance, if a coworker criticizes your work, instead of taking it personally, consider whether they might be feeling pressured themselves. Reframing helps dilute the immediate emotional response and encourages a more rational dialogue. Another crucial technique is asserting the yes but strategy. When engaging with someone who may have directed hurtful words toward you, acknowledge their feelings first. For example, you could say, "I hear you are frustrated, but it's important to me that our conversations remain respectful." This approach validates the other person's emotions while gently establishing boundaries around how you want to be treated. By addressing the concerns while maintaining your dignity, you empower yourself and set the tone for healthier exchanges. Small wins are essential for building momentum, so celebrate each step forward. Perhaps you successfully reframed a negative comment, or maybe you managed to express your feelings without escalating the situation. Acknowledge these victories by journaling them or sharing them with a supportive friend. This reinforcement cultivates confidence and encourages you to continue the journey of healing and empowerment. Remember, incremental changes lead to significant transformations over time. While helping those around you is admirable, maintaining a balance between support and personal well-being is paramount. Ensure that you allocate time for self-care activities, like mindfulness practices, physical exercise, or simply engaging in hobbies that bring you joy. When you fill your cup, you are better equipped to support others without depleting your emotional resources. Set clear boundaries about when you are available for others and when you need to focus on yourself. As we wrap up this chapter, imagine the power you hold as you begin to apply these strategies in your life. Recognizing the weight of words and taking control of the narrative is a journey that leads to a fresher perspective on relationships and improved emotional health. In the next chapter, we will explore the specific tactics of verbal abuse that frequently emerge in daily interactions, helping you to identify and confront these patterns effectively. As you prepare to join us for this enlightening discussion, remember to invite others into this journey of growth by subscribing to Mindset Liberation. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know how these insights resonate with you, and feel free to suggest any topics you'd love to explore further. Let's continue this journey together as one conversation at a time leads us all toward liberation and understanding. Chapter 4. Emotional Triggers. Protecting yourself from harm. Emotional triggers are the hidden landmines in our daily interactions. A stray word or a seemingly innocuous comment can abruptly plunge us into a state of distress, drawing on past wounds and insecurities. Understanding and managing these triggers is not only essential for emotional safety, but also a powerful strategy for reclaiming control over our emotions. This chapter aims to illuminate the nature of emotional triggers and equip you with the tools necessary to navigate them effectively. Our responses to emotional triggers often root themselves in our personal history, shaped by past experiences and interactions that leave indelible marks on our psyche. For instance, consider Sarah, a young woman who grew up amidst the chaos of a verbally abusive household. As an adult, she often found herself spiraling into anxiety during discussions that involved constructive criticism. To Sarah, these moments felt like a replay of her childhood, where every critique was a precursor to more severe verbal onslaughts. This scenario is not uncommon. According to the American Psychological Association, a significant portion of individuals who have experienced emotional or verbal abuse report heightened sensitivity to similar situations throughout their lives. The prevalence of emotional triggers makes it even more critical to understand their origins. Psychological research has shown that our brains are hardwired to respond defensively to perceived threats, particularly when they echo past trauma. Experts like Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, a leading figure in trauma research, argue that unresolved emotional traumas can manifest as triggers that hinder our capacity to engage constructively in the present. Each time we encounter a trigger, it can lead us into a loop of anxiety, anger, or withdrawal. Recognizing this cycle is the first step toward breaking free. Statistics reinforce the urgency of addressing emotional triggers. Surveys indicate that over 70% of adults have reported experiencing heightened emotional reactions stemming from past experiences. This illustrates the shared nature of these challenges. You are not alone in navigating this complex landscape. Each time a trigger is encountered, the potential for emotional upheaval looms large, often leading to consequences that ripple through our relationships and overall well-being. Despite the daunting nature of emotional triggers, the empowering reality is that you possess the ability to take charge of your emotional landscape. By developing an awareness of your triggers, you can pave the way for transformation. Begin by identifying your unique triggers, those specific words, situations, or tones that send you spiraling into emotional distress. Reflect on your reactions when these triggers are present, considering how they affect your behavior and responses to others. The journey toward mastering your emotional triggers is one of self-discovery and growth. As you cultivate this awareness, you will find that understanding the source of your emotional reactions becomes both liberating and insightful. Awareness transforms your relationship with these triggers, enabling you to respond rather than react. By recognizing that these stimuli stem from your past rather than your present reality, you can mitigate their power and reclaim the sense of control over your emotions. In preparing for the subsequent parts of this chapter, remember that knowledge of your triggers equips you with unique insights into your emotional response patterns. You can navigate your relationships with confidence, fostering deeper connections and healthier communication. As we delve further into practical techniques and strategies for managing emotional triggers, hold on to the belief that you have the strength within you to transform how you respond to life's challenges. The power to reshape your emotional landscape lies in your hands, paving the way for a more empowered and fulfilling experience. Continuing our exploration of emotional triggers, it is vital to understand why developing a proactive strategy to recognize and manage these triggers is effective for both individuals and those they interact with, particularly those facing mental health challenges. The process of identifying triggers serves not only as a path to personal empowerment, but also creates an environment where empathy, communication, and healing can flourish. By taking ownership of one's emotional responses, individuals can foster healthier relationships while simultaneously encouraging those with mental health difficulties to feel supported and understood. Consider the case of Jake, a young man whose anxiety often flared during social situations. This anxiety stemmed from childhood experiences where he frequently faced ridicule. Understanding these triggers allowed Jake to articulate his feelings to his friends, becoming specific about environments that made him uncomfortable, such as large gatherings or boisterous discussions. By expressing his fears openly, Jake's friends learned to provide him with the reassurance he needed. Instead of feeling isolated during events, he felt supported. This proactive communication shifted the dynamic. His friends became more attuned to his needs, allowing for deeper connections built on understanding rather than avoidance. This example illustrates how recognizing triggers creates opportunities for dialogue that benefits everyone involved, fostering a compassionate atmosphere conducive to healing. The strategy also proves effective because it cultivates emotional intelligence. When individuals take the time to decipher their triggers, they better understand the roots of their emotional reactions. This newfound awareness allows them to approach conversations with greater calmness and rationale. For instance, take the story of Lisa, a professional working in a high-stress environment. After struggling with feelings of inadequacy during performance reviews, she discovered that her defensiveness in those moments was triggered by her childhood experiences of harsh criticism. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, Lisa learned to prepare for feedback sessions by practicing self-affirmations beforehand, reminding herself of her achievements and skills. By reframing her mindset before a potentially triggering situation, she transformed her approach to feedback, viewing it as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. Growing emotional intelligence not only benefits the individual, but also aids those around them, particularly those grappling with mental health challenges. When friends, family, or colleagues observe someone taking the steps to manage their emotional responses, they may feel inspired to reflect on their emotional experiences as well. This environment encourages openness and fosters collaborative healing. For example, Consider a group of coworkers led by Pedro, who openly discusses his emotional triggers related to stress in the workplace. Pedro's transparency encourages others to share their own anxieties, cultivating a supportive team culture where they all feel comfortable navigating their challenges collectively. Statistics corroborate the urgency of this strategy. Studies show that individuals who develop effective emotional regulation skills experience improved mental health outcomes, including reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. They report feeling more in control and thus more capable of fostering positive interactions, both at work and in personal relationships. This is particularly crucial for those living with mental health challenges, who often require a safe and understanding environment to discuss their struggles without fear of judgment. Realizing that emotional triggers can be managed and understood is a vital first step toward reclaiming one's sense of agency in relationships. By learning to identify, articulate, and navigate these triggers, you open the door to healthier interactions and deeper connections within your community. As we move forward, we'll explore practical techniques and exercises to help you further develop resilience against emotional triggers, equipping you with the tools to lead a more empowered life. As we transition into a practical approach for managing emotional triggers, it's essential to provide actionable steps that empower you to take control of your emotional landscape. The first step to implementing this method is to create a personal trigger reflection log. Dedicate a notebook or a digital document to note instances where you feel your emotions spike. Record the situation, the words spoken, and your immediate feelings. This simple exercise aids in recognizing patterns and identifying consistent triggers. Once you've made some entries, take time to reflect on your log. Identify situations that regularly elicit strong emotional responses. Ask yourself what underlying themes may connect these moments. For instance, do many of your triggers arise from interpersonal conflicts or situations involving criticism? Understanding these connections is vital to mitigating their effects moving forward. Next, practice the technique of grounding. When you feel the onset of a trigger, take a moment to center yourself. Engage in a deep breathing exercise. Inhale deeply for a count of 5, hold for 5, and exhale for another 5. This technique helps to calm your nervous system and allows for a moment of clarity. As you breathe, remind yourself that your feelings are valid, but they do not define your reality. Reinforcing this mindset develops resilience and encourages a more measured response. Another effective exercise is the pause and reframe strategy. When you encounter a trigger, instead of reacting impulsively, consciously pause before responding. This allows you to break the automatic emotional response cycle. During this pause, ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports my reaction? Or how can I view this situation differently? For example, if someone's comment stings, remind yourself that it may not be personal. They might be projecting their own insecurities, or perhaps they were unaware of the impact of their words. This reframing shifts your perspective and reduces the emotional weight of the trigger. Celebrate small wins throughout this process. Each time you effectively identify a trigger or respond mindfully rather than reactively, take a moment to acknowledge that success. You might reward yourself with a small treat, a few minutes of relaxation, or another form of self-care. These small victories reinforce your progress and encourage you to continue developing coping strategies. Maintaining a healthy balance between supporting others and focusing on your well-being is crucial as you undertake this journey. Set boundaries that allow you to engage in helping others without neglecting your own emotional needs. It's perfectly acceptable to say no to requests for support when you feel overwhelmed. Prioritize self-care rituals that rejuvenate your spirit, whether through exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or indulging in hobbies that bring joy. Remember that you can only be a source of support for others when your own well is full. As we wrap up this chapter on emotional triggers, remember that the journey of understanding and managing these triggers is ongoing. You are building the skills necessary to foster healthier relationships with yourself and others. In our next chapter, we will explore the nuanced tactics of verbal abuse, equipping you with the knowledge to recognize and address these harmful patterns in your interactions. This exploration will empower you to confront situations more confidently and assertively. Don't forget to stay connected with us at Mindset Liberation. Your journey matters, and your voice deserves to be heard. If you've enjoyed this content, please subscribe to our channel, give a like, and share your personal insights or suggestions for future topics in the comments. Together, we can create a community centered on growth, resilience, and understanding. Let's continue to empower each other on this path toward emotional liberation. Chapter 5. Setting Boundaries. Reclaiming your inner peace. Setting boundaries is not merely an act of self-preservation. It is a powerful declaration of self-worth and an essential tool for emotional well-being. In a world where the expectations of others can often overshadow personal needs, understanding the necessity of boundaries becomes critical. This chapter will explore the origins and significance of boundaries, providing you with the knowledge and confidence to establish and maintain them in your life, ultimately reclaiming your inner peace. The concept of boundaries can sometimes be misconstrued as selfishness or rigidity. However, they are fundamentally about respect for both yourself and others. Boundaries define where you end and others begin, helping to cultivate healthy relationships while protecting your emotional and mental space. Research indicates that individuals who establish and maintain strong boundaries experience improved self-esteem and lower levels of anxiety. According to a study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, people who practice interpersonal boundaries report higher satisfaction in relationships and enhanced overall well-being. Consider the experience of Michael, a dedicated customer service representative. For years, he encountered pushy clients who expected immediate responses at all hours. Initially, Michael felt obligated to comply with these demands, fearing confrontation might lead to loss of business or negative reviews. This relentless pressure began to impact his mental health. He often experienced burnout and anxiety. Eventually, through guidance and support, Michael recognized the need to set explicit boundaries about his availability. By implementing a policy of limiting work hours for client communications, he was able to maintain professionalism while preserving moments of rest. Not only did this shift reduce his stress levels, but it also fostered a newfound respect from his clients, who appreciated his clarity and assertiveness. This example illustrates a common misconception about boundaries: the fear that setting them may lead to conflict or resentment. In reality, boundaries often provide the framework for clearer communication and deeper understanding. Experts in psychology highlight that setting boundaries teaches others how to treat you and establishes expectations that benefit all parties. When you articulate your limits clearly, you foster an environment of respect where mutual understanding can thrive. The statistics supporting the effectiveness of boundaries are compelling. According to the American Psychological Association, individuals with clearly defined boundaries tend to report feeling more in control of their lives. They are less likely to experience feelings of guilt or obligation when declining requests, which is vital in the pursuit of mental and emotional balance. This shifts the narrative from one of reacting to external pressures to proactively crafting a life that aligns with what truly matters to you. As you embark on this journey of boundary setting, recognize that it is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice that requires self-awareness and consistency. Empowerment comes from understanding that you have the right to prioritize your well-being and protect your mental space. By sharing your needs and limits with others, you demonstrate that you value your well-being as much as that of those around you. In the upcoming sections, we will dive deeper into the practical steps you can take to set and maintain boundaries, equipping you with the tools to navigate challenging interpersonal dynamics confidently. Remember, each step you take toward establishing these boundaries is a step toward reclaiming your peace and fortifying your emotional health. You possess the ability to rise above external pressures and create a life that embodies your values and aspirations. Embrace this transformative journey with the knowledge that reclaiming your inner peace is within reach. Continuing our exploration of setting boundaries, it's crucial to recognize why this strategy is effective for both individuals and those they interact with, especially when mental health challenges are at play. Establishing clear boundaries serves as a critical tool for enhancing personal well-being and creating healthier dynamics in relationships. For individuals facing mental health issues, boundaries provide a safe framework that fosters emotional security and promotes self-advocacy. Consider the situation of Jenna, who has struggled with anxiety and depression. In her journey toward healing, Jenna realized that her tendency to accommodate others often left her feeling overwhelmed and depleted. Friends frequently expected her to be available at all times, even when she was in need of downtime to recharge. The lack of boundaries exacerbated her mental health struggles, often leading her to feel guilty for prioritizing her needs. However, after engaging in therapy, Jenna learned to articulate her need for quiet time and establish specific moments for social interaction. As a result, not only did Jenna's mental health improve, but her friends also began to respect her boundaries, leading to more meaningful and fulfilling interactions. This case illustrates how boundary setting empowers individuals with mental health challenges to prioritize their well-being while enhancing the quality of their relationships. The effectiveness of boundaries extends beyond self-preservation. It also creates a positive ripple effect in interpersonal relationships, fostering mutual respect and understanding. When you set clear boundaries, you teach those around you how to interact with you in a way that honors your needs. Take the example of Brian, a program manager who often found himself overwhelmed by team demands and unending requests for assistance. Recognizing his limits, Brian initiated weekly check-in meetings to discuss project progress, ensuring everyone was aligned. He communicated that after-hours emails would not be addressed until the next business day. This simple adjustment not only alleviated his stress, but also encouraged team members to respect each other's time, ultimately enhancing productivity and morale. The strategy of boundary setting in this scenario illustrates how it can lead to more collaborative environments, benefiting participating individuals by reducing workplace tension. Statistics reveal the significance of this approach on a broader scale. Research shows that individuals with well-defined boundaries report lower stress levels and better mental health overall. A survey by the Mental Health Foundation found that 78% of respondents noted improved relationships after implementing personal boundaries. This indicates that not only does boundary setting prioritize individual needs, but it also enhances the collective emotional climate in various environments, from personal relationships to workplace dynamics. Furthermore, boundaries encourage proactive communication, reducing misunderstandings and conflict. This proactive approach is particularly vital for people facing mental health challenges who may already feel vulnerable. By clearly expressing their limits, they empower themselves and create a safe space for others to communicate their needs as well. Such an atmosphere of mutual respect lays the groundwork for deeper connections, fostering a support network vital for recovery and stability. The urgency of learning and applying boundary-setting strategies cannot be overstated. For individuals dealing with mental health challenges, mastering this skill not only alleviates stress, but also protects their emotional health, empowering them to fortify their personal relationships. As we progress in this chapter, we will delve into actionable steps and techniques you can use to establish and maintain effective boundaries, ultimately helping you reclaim control and cultivate the inner peace you deserve. Remember that this journey toward understanding and setting your boundaries is a profound step toward creating a fulfilling and authentic life. As we transition into the practical application of setting boundaries, it's time to empower you with concrete steps to implement this essential strategy in your life. To begin, take a moment to identify specific areas where you feel your boundaries are being crossed. This could be in personal relationships, at work, or even in your family dynamics. Consider jotting down instances where you have felt uncomfortable or overwhelmed by others' requests. This self-reflection is a crucial first step that lays the foundation for clear boundary setting. Next, practice clarity in communication. When you identify moments where you need to set boundaries, prepare to express your needs in a straightforward and respectful manner. An effective technique is to use the I statements to articulate your feelings and requests. For example, rather than saying, "You always interrupt me," You could say, "I feel overlooked when I am interrupted during conversations." This approach not only conveys your feelings but also centers the topic on your experience, rather than placing blame, paving the way for a constructive dialogue. To further solidify these boundaries, try the exercise of role-playing. Enlist a trusted friend or family member to help you practice these conversations. Present various scenarios where you need to set boundaries, allowing you to rehearse what you'll say and how you want to respond. This exercise builds confidence and prepares you for real-life interactions. Remember, it's perfectly normal to feel apprehensive at first. Practice makes the process smoother and helps ease anxiety. Celebrating small wins is essential in maintaining momentum. After each conversation where you successfully established a boundary, take a moment to acknowledge your accomplishment. This could be done through journaling or simply treating yourself to a favorite activity or snack. Recognizing your progress reinforces positive behavior and motivates you to continue setting boundaries. Additionally, it's important to remain adaptable and reevaluate your boundaries regularly. Situations and relationships evolve, and so may your needs. Take time each month to assess whether your boundaries are still serving you effectively. Ask yourself if they align with your current emotional and mental state. If any adjustments are required, embrace them as part of your ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. While setting boundaries, maintaining a balance between helping others and prioritizing your well-being is crucial. Avoid the mindset of guilt that often accompanies boundary setting. Remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself first, you position yourself to be more present and supportive for others. Ensure you dedicate time for self-care and personal interests alongside your commitments. Establish a routine that includes moments of relaxation, hobbies, and social activities that recharge you. As we conclude this chapter on setting boundaries, recognize this journey as a vital evolution towards your inner peace and empowerment. You are honing the skills needed to create healthier relationships while prioritizing your emotional health. In the next chapter, we will delve into the art of responding with strength when faced with verbal aggression, equipping you with tactics to reinforce your newfound boundaries. Before you move on, remember to stay connected with mindset liberation on your journey. If you found this chapter helpful, please consider subscribing, giving a like, and sharing your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Your engagement helps us grow this community, and together we can continue fostering an environment of acceptance, support, and personal development. Let's embrace this path of growth and resilience as we move ahead. Chapter 6. Responding with Strength. Dealing with verbal aggression. When faced with verbal aggression, a powerful response can redefine the dynamics of a conversation and safeguard your emotional well-being. This chapter delves into effective strategies for responding with strength, equipping you with the tools needed to navigate confrontations with confidence while maintaining your dignity. Understanding how to engage when confronted with aggressive words not only empowers you personally, but also contributes to sustaining healthier interactions in all areas of your life. Verbal aggression often manifests in everyday scenarios, from workplace interactions to familial disagreements. Its origins can be deeply personal, stemming from the aggressor's unresolved issues, stress, or insecurities. For instance, consider the story of Marco, a team leader who frequently faced aggressive outbursts from a colleague under pressure. Initially, Marco felt blindsided and disarmed by the harsh criticisms and blunt remarks directed his way. However, through reflection and support, he learned that this colleague's behavior was rooted in stress from looming deadlines and job insecurities. By recognizing the background of aggression, Marco harnessed the strength to respond instead of react, transforming confrontations into opportunities for understanding. Statistics indicate that many individuals have encountered verbal aggression. A survey by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health found that approximately 20% of employees reported experiencing verbal abuse at work, illustrating how pervasive this behavior can be. Each instance of aggression creates a ripple effect, often undermining self-esteem and fostering environments of distrust. This cycle can hinder productivity and emotional health, making it imperative to develop strong strategies to cope with such interactions. Expert insights emphasize the importance of emotional regulation when responding to verbal aggression. According to Dr. John Gottman, a renowned psychologist specializing in relationships, responding to negativity with negativity only escalates conflict. He suggests that individuals can break this cycle by employing emotional intelligence to maintain composure during heated exchanges. This insightful approach encourages the individual to pause, assess their emotional response, and choose a constructive way to address the situation. Embracing the concept of strength in response involves articulating your feelings assertively while avoiding defensiveness. For instance, if you encounter someone who dismisses your ideas in a meeting, instead of retreating into silence or lashing out, you might say, "I appreciate your feedback, but I believe my perspective has value too. Let's explore it together." This response validates the other person's feelings while firmly standing your ground, reinforcing both your confidence and the quality of the interaction. Moreover, recognizing the power of nonverbal communication can significantly enhance your ability to respond effectively. Maintaining open body language, steady eye contact, and a calm tone can convey your assertiveness without escalating the situation. By modeling confidence and calmness, you not only protect your emotional space, but also potentially diffuse the aggression of the other party. As you embark on this journey of responding with strength, remember that you possess the ability to shape interactions with intention. Transforming your approach when faced with aggression can lead to personal empowerment and healthier relationships. In the next section, we'll explore practical strategies to implement these responses effectively, providing you with actionable tools to reinforce your newfound confidence in navigating verbal aggression. Believe in your capacity for change and recognize that every interaction presents an opportunity for growth. With each step you take toward understanding and responding to verbal aggression, you fortify not only your emotional resilience, but also your relationships with others. The path to transformation is not achieved overnight, but your commitment to engage with these strategies will lead to profound and lasting effects on your emotional well-being. Continuing our exploration of responding with strength in the face of verbal aggression, it's essential to understand why implementing these strategies is effective for both individuals and those around them, particularly when mental health challenges come into play. Learning to respond to aggression with calmness and assertiveness empowers individuals to maintain their dignity while fostering a more respectful dialogue. This transformation not only benefits the person facing verbal aggression, but also sets a tone for healthier communication that can validate and support individuals wrestling with their mental health challenges. For instance, consider the experience of Amy, who works in a high-stress environment. Frequently, her supervisor would resort to criticism veiled in aggressive language, often breaching the lines of respect. Initially, Amy would feel overwhelmed and unworthy, lingering on her superior's harsh words. However, she sought support from a mentor who taught her techniques for responding constructively. Instead of retreating from the criticism, Amy learned to calmly assert her perspective by saying, "I understand you have concerns, but I believe addressing them respectfully can help us find a solution faster." This response not only helped Amy regain her sense of agency, but also shifted her supervisor's approach by encouraging a more collaborative conversation style. The effectiveness of this strategy lies in its foundation of emotional regulation. When individuals compose themselves in the face of verbal aggression, they are less likely to fall into the trap of reactive behavior, which often exacerbates tensions. Research by Dr. Daniel Goleman, an expert in emotional intelligence, demonstrates that those who are emotionally aware and capable of regulating their responses can maintain healthier relationships while reducing stress levels. In Amy's case, by employing her skills in emotional regulation, she buffered herself from the impact of her supervisor's aggression, leading to a more secure working environment. Real-life examples reinforce the importance of confident responses in combating verbal aggression. Take the situation of Carlos, who faced verbal outbursts from a public-facing role in customer service. One day, a client became verbally hostile over a misunderstanding related to a service. Instead of internalizing the hostility or retaliating, Carlos practiced the strategies he'd recently learned. He took a deep breath, maintained eye contact, and calmly articulated, "I see you are upset, and I want to help resolve this issue. Let's work together to find a solution." This constructive response not only diffused the immediate tension, but also allowed Carlos to maintain his professionalism, preserving his emotional state in a challenging situation. The urgency of adopting these strategies cannot be overstated, especially for individuals living with mental health challenges. Engaging in verbal confrontations can exacerbate feelings of anxiety or depression, and responding with strength serves as a protective barrier. By effectively managing aggressive interactions, individuals with mental health challenges regain a sense of control over their circumstances, which is vital for fostering resilience and self-esteem. Furthermore, creating an atmosphere where assertive communication is modeled encourages others to do the same. Individuals observing this approach are likely to learn and replicate it in their interactions, fostering an overall culture of respect and understanding. Such environments are essential for everyone, particularly those struggling with their mental health, as they provide the support needed for them to feel safe and valued. In embracing these strategies for responding to verbal aggression, you empower not only yourself, but those around you. In our next section, we will delve into practical exercises and techniques to effectively implement these responses in your daily life, ensuring each interaction contributes to your emotional strength. Recognize that the pathway to healthier communications lies in your hands, and each step you take reinforces your capacity for resilience, leading to profound growth in both your personal and professional relationships. As we shift into the practical application of responding with strength, it's time to equip yourself with actionable steps to navigate verbal aggression effectively. The first step to implementing this strategy begins with self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect on your past experiences with verbal aggression. Identify specific situations that have triggered emotional responses in you. Write them down in a journal, noting how you felt at the time and how you wish you had responded. This exercise fosters an awareness of your triggers and helps you recognize patterns in your emotional responses. The next step involves practicing mindfulness, a powerful tool that allows you to calm your mind and prepare for potentially aggressive situations. Make it a habit to start each day with a brief mindfulness exercise, such as deep breathing or meditation. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes in the morning to focus on your breath, allowing any stress or anxiety to dissipate. This practice builds a sense of inner peace and enhances your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively when faced with aggression. Once you feel grounded, it's time to develop your response toolkit. Practice using I statements to articulate your feelings assertively. For example, if someone raises their voice during a conversation, you might say, "I feel uncomfortable when the discussion gets heated. Can we approach this calmly?" This approach emphasizes your feelings while inviting a more constructive conversation. To refine this technique, role-play with a trusted friend. Rehearsing these scenarios will build your confidence, preparing you to engage effectively under pressure. Encouraging small wins is crucial to maintaining momentum. After each interaction where you successfully employ one of your new response techniques, take a moment to celebrate that achievement. It could be as simple as a mental acknowledgement or treating yourself to something you enjoy, like a favorite snack or a relaxing activity. Recognizing these victories reinforces positive behavior and boosts your confidence in handling future interactions. Maintaining a balance between helping others and protecting your well-being is essential on this journey. It's not uncommon to feel guilt when asserting your needs, but remember that healthy boundaries enhance your ability to support others more effectively. Schedule me time into your week, whether through a hobby, exercise, or quiet time alone. This self-care practice allows you to recharge and return to your responsibilities with renewed energy. As you continue to practice these techniques for a few weeks, take the time to evaluate their effectiveness in various situations. Reflect on how your responses have evolved, and don't hesitate to adjust your approach as necessary. Flexibility is key to finding what works best for you. As we conclude this chapter, recognize that building your resilience against verbal aggression is an ongoing process. You are developing skills that empower you to maintain your dignity and emotional health in the face of adversity. In the next chapter, we will explore the healing journey that follows verbal conflict, focusing on how to reclaim your peace and assess the impact of those interactions on your sense of self-worth and relationships. Before you move on, I invite you to stay connected with Mindset Liberation. If you've found these insights valuable, consider subscribing to our channel, giving a thumbs up, and sharing your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Your engagement fosters a supportive community where we can all learn and grow together. Let's embrace this journey toward empowerment and resilience, with each step bringing us closer to a more fulfilling and peaceful life. Chapter 7. Healing After the Harm. Moving Forward. The journey of healing following verbal aggression is a powerful testament to resilience and empowerment. While the scars of emotional wounds may linger, there is a profound opportunity to reclaim your peace and emerge stronger than before. This chapter will explore the pathways to healing, equipping you with the knowledge and strategies necessary to navigate this process successfully. Recognizing that healing is not linear, but rather an evolving journey, can offer a hopeful perspective as you embark on this transformative path. The origins of healing from verbal harm lie in understanding the psychological and emotional effects that such aggression can impose. Research indicates that exposure to verbal abuse can lead to long-lasting effects on mental health, including anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. According to the American Psychological Association, individuals who have experienced verbal aggression often struggle with self-worth and may find it difficult to trust others in their interpersonal relationships. The pervasive nature of these consequences highlights the importance of actively engaging in the healing process. Consider the experience of Jenna, who faced years of verbal criticism in her workplace. After a particularly hostile encounter, Jenna felt depleted and began doubting her self-worth. However, she recognized the need to prioritize her healing. Jenna began attending therapy, where she learned to challenge the negative narratives created by her experiences. Through cognitive behavioral strategies, she was able to confront her feelings of inadequacy and reframe her perceptions of self-worth. Jenna's journey is a reminder that healing is not merely about moving on. It involves actively transforming the narratives that bind us. Statistics further illustrate the urgent need to address healing after experiencing verbal aggression. Studies show that individuals who actively engage in healing practices, such as therapy, journaling, or mindfulness, report significantly improved mental health outcomes over those who remain silent or suppress their feelings. The National Alliance on Mental Illness indicates that over 50% of individuals exposed to emotional abuse seek professional help, highlighting the significance of recognizing and validating one's experiences as a first step toward recovery. Expert insights emphasize the importance of self-compassion in the healing process. According to Dr. Kristen Neff, a leading figure in self-compassion research, treating oneself with kindness after experiencing verbal harm can significantly improve emotional resilience. Embracing self-compassion allows individuals to confront painful emotions without harsh self-judgment. Recognizing that verbal harm does not define one's value is a vital component of the healing journey. Moreover, engaging in supportive relationships can foster an environment conducive to healing. Sharing your experiences with trusted friends, family, or support groups can bolster your emotional health and provide a sense of validation. Through these connections, individuals often find the encouragement and understanding needed to navigate their recovery. The collective healing journey can foster an atmosphere of growth and resilience, reminding you that you are not alone in facing the repercussions of verbal aggression. In conclusion, healing after the harm of verbal aggression embodies a hopeful journey towards reclaiming your inner strength. Each step you take in this process allows for the transformation of pain into the potential for growth. As we progress into the next section of this chapter, we will explore practical strategies and exercises to support your healing journey. You are empowered to confront the challenges you face and to cultivate a renewed sense of self-worth, moving forward with confidence and resilience. Embrace this opportunity to heal, knowing that you hold the key to transforming your narrative and reclaiming your peace. Validation and clarity, allowing him to confront and articulate the emotional turmoil he had internalized for so long. As he poured his thoughts onto the page, Tom recognized patterns in his self-perception, often dictated by his parents' harsh words. This newfound awareness empowered him to challenge those negative beliefs. Journaling became a coping mechanism that not only facilitated his healing, but also strengthened his sense of self-worth. This strategy is effective because it provides a structured way to navigate complex emotions tied to verbal harm. For individuals with mental health challenges such as anxiety or depression, processing these emotions is crucial for recovery. Engaging in reflective practices allows them to externalize their thoughts, making it easier to confront and reframe their narratives. Research shows that expressive writing can significantly improve mood and reduce anxiety, reinforcing the benefits of using this technique. Tom's positive shift illustrates how this healing practice can create a pathway toward resilience and emotional clarity. Moreover, consider Lisa, a young professional who struggled with the aftermath of an abusive romantic relationship. Following her experiences, she began utilizing mindfulness techniques and self-compassion exercises to cultivate healing. Initially, Lisa found it challenging to practice self-kindness, often criticizing herself for the relationship's outcome. However, through guided mindfulness sessions and focusing on self-compassion, Lisa learned to extend the same kindness to herself that she would offer a friend. This shift allowed her to confront her feelings without judgment. The effectiveness of mindfulness and self-compassion strategies lies in their ability to foster emotional regulation and a greater sense of well-being. Studies conducted by Dr. Neff and other experts in this field highlight the positive correlation between self-compassion practices and decreased symptoms of anxiety and depression. For Lisa, this approach not only aided her emotional recovery, but also enhanced her interactions with others. By embodying self-compassion, she became more empathetic and understanding, enriching her relationships and establishing healthier boundaries moving forward. Finding strength in the healing process can also benefit those supporting individuals with mental health challenges. When family members or friends engage in these healing practices, they become better equipped to provide support and understanding. The collective effort to heal and grow nurtures an environment where open communication and empathy thrive, ultimately fostering deeper connections and a sense of community. In summary, practicing structured healing strategies, whether through journaling, mindfulness, or self-compassion, can significantly transform the aftermath of verbal aggression. These approaches not only empower individuals to reclaim their sense of self, but also create a ripple effect of emotional support for those around them. The urgency in learning and applying these techniques cannot be overstated. They are vital tools in overcoming past wounds and building resilience for the future. As we move into the next section, we will delve into practical exercises and techniques that support continued healing and growth, equipping you with the resources necessary to navigate this journey with strength and grace. Remember, as you embark on this path, you are not alone. Healing is both a personal journey and a shared experience that can lead to greater understanding and empowerment. As we step into the actionable part of healing after verbal harm, it is crucial to provide you with specific steps and practical exercises that will facilitate your recovery journey. The first step is to establish a healing routine that incorporates reflection and intention. Set aside dedicated time each day or week to reflect on your feelings surrounding verbal aggression you may have experienced. This could be as simple as keeping a healing journal where you document your thoughts, emotions, and any interactions that triggered past pain. Writing down your experiences allows you to gain clarity and insight into your emotional landscape, facilitating a deeper understanding of your healing process. Next, practice mindfulness to anchor yourself in the present moment. Engage in mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing or meditation to help alleviate stress and anxiety. Start with short 5-minute sessions where you focus on your breath or listen to guided meditations tailored for healing. This practice can create a calming effect, helping to reduce the emotional intensity tied to past experiences. Over time, you can gradually increase the duration as you grow more comfortable with these techniques. Mindfulness not only aids in managing difficult emotions, but also strengthens your sense of awareness, allowing you to identify moments when old wounds are triggered. Incorporating gratitude into your healing routine is another invaluable technique. Take a moment each day to write down 3 things you are grateful for. This practice shifts your focus from negative experiences toward positive aspects of your life, fostering a sense of appreciation and hope. Each time you engage in this exercise, you create a small win that encourages a more optimistic mindset. Recognizing what is good in your life can be a powerful motivator for healing and can help counteract the lingering effects of verbal aggression. While pursuing your healing journey, it's essential to check in with yourself regularly. Establish a habit of self-reflection, asking questions like, "How am I feeling today?" and "What do I need right now?" This process allows you to honor your emotional state and respond appropriately to your needs. It's important to remember that healing is not linear. Some days will feel more challenging than others. Offering yourself grace during this journey reinforces the notion that it is okay to take a step back when necessary. In addition to personal practices, creating a support network can prove beneficial. Engage friends, family, or support groups in your healing journey, sharing your experiences and feelings with trusted individuals. This provides an outlet for validation, empathy, and understanding. When you connect with others who have faced similar challenges, feelings of isolation can diminish, and you may find comfort in shared experiences. Supportive relationships foster resilience and remind you that you are not alone in your journey. As you develop your healing strategies, maintaining a healthy balance between helping others and caring for yourself is paramount. Ensure that you prioritize your well-being first. When feeling overwhelmed by the needs of others, it's perfectly acceptable to set limits and carve out time for self-care. Recognizing your boundaries allows you to be a more present and effective support for those around you. As we conclude this chapter, acknowledge the progress you are making on your healing journey. Each step you take toward understanding and processing your emotions is a testament to your strength and resilience. In the next chapter, we will explore the transformative power of self-worth and the impact of verbal experiences on your self-perception. We'll delve into practical exercises that will empower you to reclaim your identity and rebuild your self-esteem. Remember to stay engaged, and if you found value in this content, consider subscribing to Mindset Liberation, liking this video, and sharing your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Together, we will continue on this path of healing and growth, supporting one another as we embrace our authentic selves. In conclusion, this journey through words that harm, recognizing the patterns of verbal abuse, has equipped you with essential strategies for understanding, confronting, and ultimately healing from verbal aggression. We explored the intricate nature of communication and how words can impact our well-being, providing you with practical tools to recognize hidden signs of verbal abuse and respond with strength. Establishing boundaries emerged as a vital aspect of reclaiming your inner peace, allowing you to foster healthier relationships while protecting your emotional health. We also delved into the healing process, emphasizing the importance of introspection, mindfulness, and self-compassion as pathways to recovery. Remember, the power to transform your mindset and emotions lies within you, and every positive step you take enhances your resilience against harmful interactions. Thank you for accompanying us on this transformative journey. If you found value in this content, please take a moment to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful discussions. Together, we can continue to foster a community dedicated to personal growth and emotional liberation. Your engagement is invaluable, and we look forward to sharing more with you on this journey.